Everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome to another great episode of Real Life Matters. I'm telling you, today we got somebody that's really inspiring, that she's done a lot of stuff. She's just all over the place. And she's going to be dealing with the actual matter of the soul. And no other than further ado, because I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about that. No other than further ado, I introduce Darlene Montgomery, Soul System Healing. Welcome. There she is.
Hi. Nice to meet
Hi,
you in
how are
person.
you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want me to say something about soul system healing?
Yeah. Well, this is so. You're from Toronto, right? Or
I'm from Toronto, but I'm presently in Vancouver. I moved this way towards where my daughter lives. So yeah, I've been in Toronto most of my life, except 1 year I did live in Minnesota, actually. So that was a
okay,
very interesting life.
okay, all right. So, we're talking about this soul system. Can you tell everybody how it works?
Well, a lot of the time what happens when we're very young and we are, repeatedly talked down to by our elders, our teachers, our caregivers, our grandparents, we're told that certain things are wrong with us, even things that might be, we might be picked on for being very cute, very teary-eyed. Maybe you were the very smart one in your class and people were, picking on you for that, or you got called dumb, or what happens is we want to get rid of those parts of us that are, unacceptable to others. We want to be accepted. That's such a huge human quality of we want to be included, accepted. And when we're not accepted for something, we'll get rid of it. For instance, when I was quite young, I was a very, very beautiful woman. I mean, not that I'm not now, but I was stunning. I didn't know it. Honestly, I didn't know I was a beautiful woman. I honestly didn't, because I was told by my dad that I was this ugly, big-nosed, big-eared woman, girl. So I never knew I was attractive. It didn't matter. I could look in the mirror, but I couldn't see it. And what started happening is that people were picking on me for being attractive. Like my sister's husband would say, introduce me, and he would go, oh, she's the ugly one. And I thought that he meant it, but he actually meant that I was the beautiful sister. And, but what he would do was pick on me for being beautiful, because they thought I got everything, got these advantages. So what I did is at about the age of 38, I started swelling up. I started getting bigger and bigger and bigger to hide my beauty, because it had caused me so much problems. So what happens with people is they hide these beautiful qualities that they have for different reasons, and they go into what we call the shadow. And then how the shadow works is when we react to something in another person, and we react very overtly towards that, it means they're carrying something of us. They're carrying a quality that we have repressed, pushed down. Debbie Ford, who wrote a book called The Dark Side of the Light Chasers, she says it's like a beach ball going farther down into the water. And then when it comes to a certain pressure, it just comes up. So if you find someone is exploding at you, it's because there's something about you that reminds them of something they repressed a long time ago, and something about you is bringing that up for them, and they're reacting like a crazy lunatic.
You don't know why they're reacting.
They don't even know why. They don't even know it has anything to do with them. And the more violent the reaction, the more you know it is a part of themselves that they have detached from, they have pushed away. And there's different types of ways that we do that in life as well. And we do it sometimes in a way where we don't want others to suffer. We don't want our mother to suffer. We don't want our father to suffer. So as younger people, we'll take on some of their pain and suffering and sorrow, and and struggle so that they don't have to struggle. And then as we're older, we're struggling along in our lives. We don't realize we've taken on something from our parents or our grandparents.
Or like when parents or something get divorced, or you know,
yes,
they come from other countries and they leave their mother or their siblings and they come somewhere else. So they were
right.
saying that you take a part of that because of the divorce. You, as a person, you take a part of that, as the kids take a part of that with them, and they can't release it.
They can't release it. And, you know, we're part of a soul family. We're part of a system. And somebody has to take, if someone's excluded from the family, say there's an abortion, there's a miscarriage, there's a death, there's someone was sent away because they had mental problems. In my family, my grandfather had an affair on my grandmother. He was never, ever, ever allowed back in the family, ever. Nobody ever met him. And so somebody younger has to take that on until that person is brought back in. And so on my father's side of the family, there was such unrest. It ended up such a broken family because of this. She would never forgive him and never let him come back in. So when we exclude someone, the younger person in the family has to carry that burden until the person is brought back in. And we can do that in soul system healing. We bring back those parts of ourselves. You experienced it yesterday. It's very, very easy to talk to the soul. Even if they've passed on, we can energetically get in touch with them because they're just waiting in the wings to be included back into that family system.
So have you know? Yeah, I experienced it yesterday, and it was very something different. But have you been born or you been trained to do this with a gift? Because a lot of people want to know like how you came about to do this type of work.
Well, yeah, I mean, I started out very intuitive. Even as a young girl, I was dreaming about things coming up in the future. I had no idea, you know, how this was possible, but I've always been a hypersensitive person. And then in about 1993, I started studying something very fundamentally, you know, it was part of holistic healing, but very strategic, and it was called Brain Gym. So that gave me the introduction into what we call muscle checking. And muscle checking is when we use a part of our body to test something for like an age. When did that begin for that person? When did that block begin? When did that emotion? I use my finger, but you can use, people use an arm, or they use different, even a leg, to what they call muscle checking. And your body knows everything about you. We hold memories in our body. And I can intuitively tell you what age something started, who it started with, what happened. And that's what Soul System does. It breaks it down. Why do you have these financial problems? Why do you have this problem with being lonely? Why do you have this problem with getting fired all the time? Why do you have this problem with never being able to stay with a person very long? You know, these things are all.
Why are you always bitter all the time or something?
That's right. Yes.
From a lot of bitterness.
Why can't you move ahead in your life? And that's when we go in and we find out, where did that start? How did that start? I can give you a really quick example of how with ancestral healing, it's very interesting. So what can happen is someone might try to pay for someone else's deed, and you cannot do that. You cannot pay for somebody else's sin, quote unquote. They have to carry their own debt. And so I was asking about money problems one time, and I had this dream where I was with my father and his family, his newer family, after he was married 3 times. And in the dream, I was trying to pay for the lunch, and the money was flying all over. It was turning into bits of worthless paper. And then my father, on the right side of me, he's showing me this ledger, and he's very adamantly showing me how he is adding up this ledger. Well, my father used to be an accountant for a major company. And he absconded with some money from their social committee when I was around 6 years old. I didn't know any of this till later. I didn't really, I was too young to understand. Well,
Right.
what the dream was saying was, because my dad was an accountant, he absconded with the money. I was trying to pay for him for what he had done. And it's not possible. We cannot pay. So I was paying by not letting myself have anything good, by keeping myself in a lower financial. I was trying to, pay for him. And sometimes that's what's actually happening, is that we are trying to pay for someone else. And my dad did that with my mother as well. It was really funny because he was in a nursing home and his room was here, and on either side of him, you won't believe this, there were two people on either side of him. They both had the name of my mother's maiden name, McAuliffe, which is a Maltese name. Both of them on either side. And my father had taken on this huge illness to pay back for all the things he did for my mother and to my mother when she was younger. So he got like a much worse case of Parkinson's than my mother had had, like a 10 times worth. He couldn't talk, he couldn't walk, he couldn't speak, he couldn't swallow, he couldn't see. It was like 1,000 times worse than what my mother had. She also had Parkinson's, as a way of paying back to her for what he had done to her when they were married. But you can't do that. It doesn't work. You cannot pay back someone else by doing that to yourself. It just will not in any way help or fix things. So that's what I identify for people. I identify, are you doing that? Are you carrying something for someone else that's not yours to carry? Then we need to return to sender. I'm the young one, you're the older one. I'm too young to have the responsibility to carry things for you, Dad, or for you, Mom. I was the baby. I needed your help. I am not responsible for carrying for you your burdens. You were supposed to help me to grow up, and you were supposed to care for me. That's how it works. So I will say, I've been carrying something for you, Mom, that is not mine to carry, and now I will give it back. Honor me if I choose to have a happier life, better relationships, more money, more wealth, abundance, prosperity than you could have, Mom.
Right. So you deal with a lot of things with people that's happened, things that are happened to people, because those are a lot of things. So what you're saying is that a lot of things that you do and the healing process is things that people carry, like maybe from divorce, your father, mother got divorced, or maybe something that your siblings did, maybe your siblings.
Absolutely.
So you help in that healing process with them, right?
That's what I do. I uncover what happened, who did it start with? Did it start on mother's side, father's side? Is it a shadow part? Is it a part of us that we've disowned? Or is it a belief system? We call it a massive reversal of our beliefs. So you say, I want to be wealthy, but when we test you and you say, I want to be wealthy, you actually go weak. Your body will not let you say, I want to be wealthy. I'm willing to be wealthy. I'm ready to be wealthy. And your body might say, no, I'm not ready. I can't do this. And then you might say, it's safe to be wealthy. And your body will say, no, okay, so why is it not safe? What will happen if you have more money? Is it going to rob you of some other thing that you have in your life, some other security, if you have too much money? Like, for instance, you might be getting social assistance. What if you get too much money? It's going to make you not get that social assistance anymore. So you may stop yourself from moving forward, because we want our security. We want our security. We want to belong, but we also want our security. So that's what I help people to get to the bottom of. Why won't they let themselves have and be something more than they are?
Okay, so so people can call you, or do they have to come into you? Just take us through a little bit of the process so people can understand if they can call you, if they got to come and see you, or how does it work? Just take us through.
I do it all by phone because I don't I like people to be able to go inward. So if I do it by phone, they're more able to go inward. You know, when you're talking to someone, I mean, we could do it now and it would probably work out beautifully because I can do it also when I'm seeing you in person, of course. But I just do it by phone. It's very simple, and they call in, and then I ask them, what is it that you need to move forward with? What is it you want to clear out? What is it you want to be, you know, have in your life that you haven't been able to have, be more open to? And then I start to check. I have a little system that I've created, and I go in and what issue is involved here? What happened? And then I find the issue, and then I start clearing that out for them. I start putting them through a process where they can then start to clear out the remnants of what's been blocking them from moving forward. And they can, yeah, so usually I do a half an hour to an hour session by phone, and then people often notice really great benefits from it, financially, emotionally, you know, on all levels, relationships.
Well, this is employable what you do because, you know, a lot of people probably don't even, you know, they're getting education and people, this is Real Life Matters. And this is what Darlene does. And, you know, it's, you know, probably some people didn't even know that could even happen, you know, because a lot of people go to church. A lot of people go to here trying to think that they can get deliverance from generational curses. But then they're not pinpointing that maybe it's not them, it's somebody
Right?
else.
Absolutely. Yeah, it can be very intricate what we're carrying around. Even say if your mother had miscarriages, those souls hang around, and you might be the one in the family who's carrying around like a little entity of that soul who just wanted to be acknowledged. My mom had a stillborn child that was alive for like a few minutes or a day, I can't remember. And I ended up carrying that little soul around with me until a few years ago when I was aware that she was just kind of hanging around. And I helped her to, you know, move on. And I said, you can get a new body. You don't need to live through me. And it's not very fun anyway, is it? I know I was surprised and shocked that that would even be possible that I could. But when I looked at my life and I looked at all these things that had happened, it made perfect sense that I'd been carrying this little soul around with me.
Wow. Well, that's a good thing because some people don't get along with their siblings. Some people say, oh, well, you know, they don't call, they don't say
That's
nothing, da,
it.
da, 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 and you don't know, oh, the family treats you like that. And then sometimes that can
Yeah.
be, well, that how the families treated you, they're treating somebody else the same way, but they don't know maybe what's happening, correct?
They don't know that they've taken on a role in their family because the family itself is a system. And when there's you know, addiction in the family, which is most families have some kinds of addictions, then we take on a role of either the scapegoat or the lost child or the family hero.
Or the
But we're
black
locked
sheep.
into, yeah, we're the black sheep. So if you're the scapegoat, you're learning through failure. No matter what you try, you just can't move ahead. So we want to break that pattern of you being a scapegoat. You don't need to carry for the whole family all their crap. You know, you have the right to move forward, and we want to break that pattern of you being that lost child who's always alone, always left out, you know, just stays home with your cat or your dog or whatever, watching movies all day long. That's a sign of a lost child, you know. So I identify the role that you're playing, and then I help you break that pattern.
And sometimes, you know, people don't realize that when maybe your mama, your dad do things more with the other siblings more than the other person in that's in the family, and they don't really communicate in everything they do for the other siblings, but then they leave out something. So you think that's like an issue or a problem or something like that?
Yeah, you could be the lost child, or you could even be the scapegoat who ends up carrying all the crap for the whole family. And so we identify that. Are you able to learn through success? You know, and another way of testing for a scapegoat is, you know, oh, you're incredibly beautiful and wonderful and amazing. And wow, you're just so gifted and so smart. And a scapegoat finds it very hard to take those good comments. Like if you're having a problem when people are telling you how great you are and you hear your inner voice say, they're full of crap. I'm not, like it's very hard to take in the good, but you can take in the bad really easily. That's a sign of being a scapegoat. Yeah. And we want to break that cycle where you can receive, you can receive good.
Okay. But, we're going to have to bring you back to talk about some other stuff that we can talk to, because this is, this is a very deep thing. This is dealing with matters of the soul, people. Everybody who's watching out there, matters of the soul, matters of the heart. So, and matters of you, just you doing things that you don't know about what you're doing, correct?
Right, exactly. It's in your unconscious. You don't know what's happening. You have had this confusion and they don't know why they're doing it and why they have this problem. And that's what we want to help them move forward with. Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell people where they can reach you, and if they want to reach out to you, and how much it costs maybe for the services and stuff like that?
Yeah, sure. I charge $75 for half an hour or $150 for an hour treatment, depending on how long you've held it. It may take a whole hour. And I am at lifedreams@rogers.com, and Rogers is ROGERS.com, lifedreams@rogers.com, and they can just get in touch with me if they want to book a session, and they can just send me like an e-transfer or something, to pay for it. And we'll organize a time, and then we get on the phone. And we can, and if it's not possible, we can do Zoom or another, WhatsApp or something.
And do you have a website?
They simply cannot. I have a website. I don't really have the soul systems healing up, but I have lifedreams.org. I haven't put the new system on there yet. It's kind of a combination of all my books and all the systems, but they can also go on there and find out more about me. It's got an older picture of me from before. But lifedreams.org. I look much hotter now.
Well, I'm pretty sure the men are wondering, geez, I better get a soul
healing. Who the heck is that? Yeah, it's an older picture. I just have to switch out to a new website. My daughter's going to be helping me with that soon. So
that's okay, but it's over the holidays and stuff like that. So, everybody, if you don't, reach out to Darlene, because if you don't want to carry anything over into the new year, or what you've been carrying for years or decades, reach out to Darlene and she can help you. Do they have a phone number, or you don't want to? If you don't want to say your phone number,
I can give them the number. Sure, that's fine. 416-276-1559 is the number that they can call me at or text me at as well. Yeah, why not? Hey,
And text Darlene for the right things. You hear, you men out there?
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
All right. Well, I do, Darlene, want to thank you for coming in today, and for speaking to us and telling us the matters of the soul. We're going to bring you back on to talk about some other stuff with your books, and you do a lot of amazing things. So anyway, I do want to thank you, Darlene, for coming to Real Life Matters today.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
Thank you. No problem. And also, you guys can follow me on Instagram at DBoss_1, Real Life Matters, DBoss Network. If you want to watch any of the episodes, go to the YouTube channel, DBoss Network, and you'll see all the episodes. So anyways, bye for now.